Hey guys, Dib the Awesome here to give you my thoughts and review on Forsaken Monsters. Now, this is during the time where the new Mythic monsters have just came out, and Forsaken monsters have been out for a while. I've never really given my own personal opinions and thoughts on them, so in this video I'll be talking over not necessarily all of them. I just want to talk about a few key players, but then in the same token, I kind of want to talk about like just my overall view, which is the point of this video anyway, so I don't know why I need to repeat it like 2 or 3 times. But let's start with that first. Universally speaking, I don't find Forsaken Monsters to be needed in any way, like except for Santerion. For sure, Santerion and Wicca right now is kind of bugged, so she's low-key good. Why is this the case? Well, it just seems to be whenever I play against a Wicca, everything just genuinely misses. I don't know if they've updated it, but in short, Wicca just seems to evade a lot of things and gets away with things for free. Like there's like a bug where her blind is just perma. It's like perma blind and you just miss everything. It was actually really crazy. I played against it on stream once and it was just really good. And it was just like a level 100 too. For a situation where I was supposed to win, I lost it. This also goes for War too. I actually played one in War, and I believe I lost that fight. Just by the sheer fact I couldn't hit it. Like it's just bugged. So right now it's good because it's bugged. Then it's just crazy. Santerion is good because right now it's the only monster in the game with Megataunt as a trait. That's right. If you got this thing to rank 1, at the very least it should have Megataunt as a trait, and that's very, very busted. Being able to attract everything like permanently, like truly, like all he did though. You can do trait disable. Hey, it's not that bad. Extra turn trait disable skills exist. Yeah, well, you know what also exists? Anticipation, and you know what also exists? Ragnarok, who can literally reset any play you do and also cleanse it. So he can double cleanse it, and like he'll have that area cleanse back up again in a turn. It's that's just how good it is. Like there's no point in going for the play. There's also Rasuyuko, who is a Pierce monster, but also can have the ability to cleanse the extra turn trait disable play. Right now, between removing Megataunt as a buff and or versus the trait disable, removing buffs are easier than trait disabling because there's counterplay to even removing trait disables. Like this is hardcore counterplays because the thing that's supposed to counter it doesn't actually counter it because there's another thing in play just by naturally it being there. Like again, Ragnarok, like again, Rasuyuko, who again, neither of those two are even like Forsaken monsters, and those are just really great units, better than, Forsaken. You know why Forsakens, like the Forsakens aren't too good? Because you have to use their own cells. That's right, folks, you have to use their own cells. You can't use alternatives, and this is why here's reason number 2, they're not, the best thing, and, or at least needed, because you have to invest in them with their own personal cells. Laser Beam, as far as I'm concerned, has been the only Forsaken monster event where people like the social points pushing to get like cells like you could have gotten a lot of cells. If anything, I think it could be rank 1, 2, or 3 in terms of Laser Blast cells. You could have gotten them ranked up by. Which Laser Blast himself isn't like a bad monster. I'd say not Laser Blast, Laser Beam. Dude, I've been calling Laser Blast this time. But Laser Beam's nice, but it doesn't have Pierce. It's missing Pierce. And that's a huge deal. But one of the huge issues, again, with Forsaken Monsters is they're just lacking in terms of usability to rank up. Because with Elite Monsters, this is the archetype before Forsaken is Elite stuff, which we have a whole book here on. Elite Monsters, there's quite a few. And as you can see, some of the bigger names include the almighty Wormland right over here. Gorg. Gorg's really great. Ugluk, amazing. Nitro Blaster, your boy blasts everything. And even Cizania is a very valuable Pierce unit. It's one of the few monsters in the game that just kind of dumpster dives quite a few specific things. Area dodge related, I mean. And And you can use any kind of cells. You can use the metal cells. You can use Elementium. These things are just easier to rank up. Nitro Blaster even had its own event, like the Colossal breeding event for fire monsters. You could bred this with like really easy stuff, like a Team Race monster and like a garbage fire monster, and you could get like the 18 stacks for 130. It's amazing. It's perfect. They just give opportunities, and boy, you can have easier ways of ranking these up. You could, extract the nature cells from epic monsters or whatever, like whatever the type you're looking for, just breed that specific epic type, extract them, all that stuff. Even legendaries gets you more. I personally like the Nibidas combination that gives you a bunch of dark cells. That's really easy. But the point being, Forsaken monsters are just not easy to rank up, and they basically do the same thing as elite monsters. Why push more time in Forsakens when elites do genuinely the same stuff they do, but it's like not behind too bad of a paywall. They're easier to rank up. There's ways to rank them up without having to spend money, like for sure. And like these kind of monsters need to be ranked up all the way to get access to their full abilities. And that's kind of point number 2. Some Forsaken monsters, not all, have to be ranked up all the way. That means you have to put a great deal of investment, again, money. But as opposed to like elites that are easier to rank up, you can split it with stuff you grind, and it's not that bad. It's just kind of comparing the two. There hasn't been really an opportunity as well to even like get the monsters, like the Forsaken monsters. As far as I'm concerned right now, Forsaken monsters have been sorely lacking in terms of like buying cells. You had to actually get the monster in the event first, and then you can buy the cells. But that's kind of meh. But like that's the point though. I mean, like there hasn't been normals. They haven't had normal sales. Like they've had sales for like Hornet. They've had sales for like who isn't even an elite monster according to the books here. But yeah, it's not actually, it's not an elite. But that monster in general is really great. It's not even an elite, and it's amazing. But things like Cracks, things like Ugluk, they do really great and competitive, and it's more accessible. So in terms of like Forsaken monsters that are really nice to have, I'd for sure say Krabby Droid at rank 3, which people had access to. This, as far as I'm concerned, Krabby Droid at rank 3 hard counters Thalassa, and that's really amazing. I wish I had him at 3. Centurion, the best Forsaken, and it's really cheap to rank him up. It's like rank 1 you get the Megaton permanently, and then rank 3 you get Artifact. You don't even need them ranked up all the way. As far as I'm concerned, the damage reduction does nothing. It's just how the debuff has always been, just does nothing in terms of damage. It's nice to reduce damage, but odds are it's not going to save you from fatal damage. It's only relevant when it does save you from fatal damage. And then Niseo is also really good in Wild Bird and Wicca. There's been quite a few, but some of them take specific rank ups to play. I think Niseo took like 1 or 2 to get fully optimized, but at the very least skill-wise. But stat-wise, it's better to rank them up all the way. That's genuinely it. Of my thoughts is I just don't think they're they're really great ranked up, but again, just the ease of access. I just find the elite monsters, or like monsters that take ranking up to get access to their exclusive skills, their ranked up specific skills. I find elite monsters just to be better, just because of ease of access. I don't find Forsaken monsters to be terrible. In fact, they're really, really nice when you do get them done. Have you ever seen a fully done Wild Bird just completely destroy teams? You know why? Because it got Pierce. That boy got the Pierce, though, and he has Protect positive effects, which is really, really great. That means you can stack all these kind of buffs on him, he keeps them, and he utterly destroys teams. He just dumps on them. It's amazing. It's beautiful. I don't have him to showcase it, but if you get him done at rank, 5 or 4? Yeah, it's 5. He just destroys everything. It's beautiful. Wild Bird just destroys everybody. But those are just my genuine thoughts. Going forward, since there is mythic monsters, I don't know if they'll continue the archetype. I don't know if they'll continue Forsaken monsters because I think Social Point themselves realize not many people are really looking too into Forsaken monsters at all. Just because, again, elites are just easier to get done. So, yeah, they might just do mythic monsters from now. That's probably why they, brought a new archetype. Because Forsaken just wasn't really, no one was really happy with Forsaken monsters to too much of an extent. Again, Santerion and like, what was the other one? Cravadroid and like Laser Beam. I'm for sure got a lot of ranked stuff done. But beyond that, Forsaken monsters haven't been too popular. If anything, they're showing the same, if not more, depending on, again, if you're ranked up elites. But elites just seem to do the same thing. But again, their ease of access. It's just all about the ease of access, and I just think they're not as good as elites. Except for like Santerion. Again, Santerion, best monster in the game as far as I'm concerned. Santerion just walls everything and it just attracts everything. And there's no real way of going about it if you have the proper things. In fact, he's so good to the point where people have to run Pierce monsters. Like, Pierce monsters, what do Pierce monsters do? They bypass all defenses, including taunts. It's messed up to the point where like you have to rely on a different like mechanic, like an anti-meta mechanic, just to counter like Santerion. Like if you did this with a regular monster, even if you killed Santerion, if the Rossi, not Rossi Gun, the Ragnarok or the Necromancer, whatever can bring back Santerion still in play, it'll never not die. He'll never die. Like the play will just keep recycling. You'll never get anything done. You actually have to run Pierce just to bypass certain events. And that's a pretty big deal. That's pretty much it. Those are my thoughts. I'm Nib the Awesome, and I hope you guys have an awesome day.